Hello Obophiles! This is the next video in the series of videos in which we learn how to play the oboe. Today we're learning how to play Pop Goes the Weasel. We'll be doing it in B flat first, and then I'm going to show you how to change it into F major. We're going to learn a bunch of new notes. Well, actually, we're just going to learn one new note, and we are going to start using the forked F fingering when appropriate. So, first things first, go back and listen to the tune a few times. Make sure you're able to sing along, and then sing by yourself. You want to know where you are in the tune. Notice that the tune is not in duple meter. We don't divide the beats in two like we do in Mary Had a Little Lamb, for example. We actually divide them in three like we do in America, which will be coming up later. And this one goes do 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 do. So try to get that first. You want to be able to get big beat, little beat, big beat, little beat, little beat. And when you can keep time like that, it's really easy to feel the rhythm of any song in triple meter. So now let's get into the new fingerings you're going to need. Well, you already know that this is the fingering for F, and I'll show it here as well as beside me on the screen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then what I call the taco key with your ring finger. But sometimes this F doesn't make sense to get to. For example, if we're coming from a D, that's really hard to get to, or if we're coming from E flat, which is half whole 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the E flat key. The low E flat is just the same thing without the half whole. But okay, let's say we're on an E flat or a D. We don't want to be jumping with the ring finger onto that taco key. So instead, we have the forked F, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, and 3 for the low register. And the exact same fingering, but we add the first octave key for the higher register. If your oboe is like more of a beginner model, you might have to add the E flat key to make this F sound good. And the reason why is you might be missing this resonance key. So if your oboe has this key, that's awesome. You don't need to use the E flat key. If it is missing that key, you may have to use the E flat key to get it to sound as resonant as the other notes. But okay, so we have the new fingering for F, and let's see if we can figure out when to use it in this tune. So this tune doesn't start on the downbeat like every tune we've had so far. It has what's called a pickup. A pickup is a note that happens before the first downbeat. Okay, so if we're feeling time, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The first note doesn't happen on the 1. It actually happens on a 3. 3, 1, ba 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 ba. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And you want to be feeling those little beats the whole time, especially at the beginning when you have your pickup. Okay, so we're going to start on an F pickup and then go into the tonic note, which is B flat in this case. I'm going to slow it down so you can hear it a little slower. Feel free to play with me or pause the video so you can have a turn playing it by yourself. Now you'll see the notes on the screen and try to find where you need to play an F after you play a D or an E flat. But in this case it's a D. So that high F with the octave key, you're coming from a D, so you're going to need to use the new forked F fingering. Let's go even slower a few times. Now remember, you can always toggle the playback speed in the YouTube player, and you can practice it slowly until it's easy to do, and then speed it up so you can play it at the tempo you would sing it at. The next part of the tune is kind of like a consequence here. It starts the exact same way as the first part. It has a pickup into the downbeat, which is the tonic note, B flat again. But we do this nice fa mi motion. And you'll remember from the laws of laziness, if you're in the studio, that this is a really common motion in major tonality. And if you're not in the studio and you would like to join it or take a trial lesson, you can find that link in the description. Go to oboefiles.com and sign up. But okay, so here to slowly again. So notice that part 1 and 2 start the same way. Together they make up the first half, and that sounds like this. I'm slurring between the last 2 notes, so I'm not using my tongue for the very last 2 notes to give it more of that strong weak. Here it is again slowly. So a slur is just a line over 2 notes telling you not to use your tongue to begin the second note that is slurred over, or however many notes are in that slurred grouping. Now the second half begins the exact same way as the first half. But of course the fourth part of the song has that fun "Pop Goes the Weasel" part of the song. So we want to make sure we play that top F with, extra energy and vigor. If you have already learned vibrato, this is a good place to use it. So again, the third part of the tune is exactly the same as the first part of the tune. I'll do it once slowly. And the fourth part of the tune goes like this. Here it is again slowly. If you would like to play the whole arrangement that I played at the beginning, the trio is available for download at oboefiles.com for free, where you can also find tons of free oboe resources, as well as buy reads or sign up for lessons. Or even the Oboe Files newsletter, which will keep you up to date with new oboe opportunities and cool stuff happening in the oboe world. If that's easy for you already, don't be afraid to put it into different keys with notes that you already know. For example, you already know all the notes you would need to play it in G major, the first key we ever did in this series. If G is the tonic note, then the first note's going to be Sol. And I'll let you figure out what that is on your own. Of course, have fun with it, and when in doubt, play beautifully.